Aloha, everyone, in another level living land. So happy that you're here for another episode of Freedom Fridays, where we talk and have conversations about how to achieve business and life harmony, how to create total success and peace on all sides so that we can stress less, strengthen our relationships, lead with much more energy, ease, and momentum, work smarter, not harder, and create time, money, and emotional freedom, not only for ourselves and our family, but our community and our world. We're called for amazing greatness. We're called to be able to shine, and there's no need to try to fit in when we're born to stand out. We have an amazing special guest today and message, and I cannot wait till we get into that. I want you to welcome amazing coach, motivational speaker. She is the Get Ish Done lady, Julie Jones. Julie, say hi to everyone.
Woo! Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Wow. It's hard to believe. Friday, April 22nd. Where the hell is the time going?
It went so quickly, didn't it? Oh my gosh. And we're so happy that you're here to be able to share with us about how to stop waiting and start living. But before we get into that, I have an announcement for everyone. If you have not grabbed your ticket to the Biz Life Harmony Bootcamp that's starting in just a couple of weeks, you're definitely going to want to make sure that you grab that ticket today. There's only I think 7 seats left in there. And we go through a 6-week bootcamp where we create peace on all sides. We lean into what's going on. We let go of the stuff that's my favorite part, letting go of the things that we got to let go of so we can really leap forward into our calling. We uncover the things that are heavy, the things that are uncertain. If there's any struggles that you're having in your business or in your life, a lot of the life stuff gets in the way of creating that consistent revenue generating business. We're going to go ahead and break free from that. I'm going to be sharing my experience that I guide my one-on-one clients through. And the website for that is anotherlevelliving.com/bootcamp. We'll put it in the chat along with Julie's amazing gift for us as well. So yeah, get your ticket. Look forward to seeing you there. And now we'll get into this amazingness of what this message is. So Julie, we're again so happy that you're here. We thank you for all the work that you're doing. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you serve?
Wow. Well, okay. I'm glad that this is like a 4-hour interview, right? Oh my gosh. Well, as you know, I just have to first of all say that I'm in such gratitude to be able to be on your platform and really to be able to, give some people some tips about the idea behind Stop Waiting, Start Living. And I love the idea of Freedom Friday because I think it's in learning from each other that we can have freedom each and every day, just not on Friday, right? So thank you again for having me. So again, I'm Julie Jones. I've branded myself as the Adventures of Julie Jones, and I am a former police officer and SWAT team member. So I spent 10 years in that career, and I left that career, and then I've done a multitude of different things in pursuit of serving people the best way that I know how. I have a heart to serve, and I love being able to help people. So hence that I really focus in on the coaching and speaking aspect of Stop Waiting, Start Living. And I do have another coaching platform, but it kind of all encompasses in one, because I saw as a law enforcement officer how quickly life can change. Really here today, gone tomorrow. Everybody thinks they have forever. That, like tomorrow's a new day. I can do it tomorrow. I can do it next week, next year. And we don't know when our expiration date is. Like, we don't know when our time is going to be up. And then I saw it in my own life personally as well. So each and every day, I really strive to inspire people to live in the moment. We're human beings, not human doings. So what can you do just to be and enjoy each and every day and each and every moment?
Oh my gosh, Julie. First of all, like, okay, we're so excited that you're here. And I thank you so much for your service in your previous career. And I'm so grateful for your service now, because that part that you had said about, we don't know whether we'll be here tomorrow. We don't know what's gonna happen. We have one life to live, and we have an impact. Everybody has a calling. I was we had some people who we just lost a couple of days ago, or even yesterday. And the thing is, it's like, did they live out their life purpose? Did they live out their calling? Um, the richest place in the world is not anywhere here on earth, but in the graveyard. Unfulfilled dreams, unfulfilled goals and aspirations. So this message that you're sharing with us about starting to live, um, seizing each day and seizing each moment, I think we need that more now than ever, especially what we've experienced over the last couple of years as a global world. So thank
Well,
you.
absolutely. And you and I were talking about, so or prior to getting on this call, about my girlfriend, who was in a bad car accident and has a concussion, and, is just struggling in some aspects health wise. And she's down by herself in Florida. And when she called me and she was in crisis, like, I was able to look at my calendar and say, okay, this takes utmost importance. Like, what do I need to do to clear my schedule? I booked an immediate flight. Like, I was headed there, no questions asked. Like, I told her, don't argue with me, like, I'm coming, right? And some things shifted, but like, it really got me thinking for other people that may be listening in. If you are put in a position of, like, wanting to be able to help a loved one, a friend, a family member, whoever it is, and you're not able to drop everything and be able to do that, then there is something either wrong with scheduling, priorities, and it's not good, bad, right, or wrong. It's like, we just need to take a look at how we can shift some things, that you have a life where you get to rather than have to.
Oh my gosh. Julie, I think that hit home for so many people. And thank you so much for sharing about your friend, because we experience that, where we can get so busy in our careers or in work, and we may not be able to just drop everything and be there for and be present for the people that really we care for. The most important things aren't things. It's not what we do. It's the connections and the relationships that we have. And that's one of the reasons why I talk about business and life harmony. And I'm glad that you're highlighting that, because it's creating the freedom to be able to be there for the ones that we love when they need us, and have the flexibility in our schedule and our time and our finances to be able to do that. So I'm so glad that you highlighted that, because it just connects and reminds me of all that we're doing even here on this call.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. And sometimes it's just small shifts. Like, I'm not talking about, doing a complete overhaul. Maybe that's what you need, right? But here's the thing: when we attempt to implement too much in place, what I've discovered and what I've coached people around is, massive change takes massive action. And most people, the brain goes into a place of protection, right? And so when you start making all these changes, or you decide to start doing all these things, it's like, if you decide to get healthy, right? Like, all of a sudden you decide that you're going to be working out 3 times a day. You're going to be like eating right. You're going to give up sugar. Like, you put all these big things into place, and you do it for maybe 2 or 3 days. And then you just get into overwhelm and you're like, this isn't working. It's incremental changes. It's like, maybe all you do to make it a habit is that you start drinking more water each and every day, and logging that, and really getting comfortable around that. And then what's the next thing that you're going to put into place? So maybe it's setting more boundaries around your time, that, like, you choose not to work on Sundays, or that you choose not to work past 6 o'clock at night, so that you have the time either for yourself or to be present with your loved ones. See, there's nothing worse, in my opinion, than like the distractions of technology. Like, you're supposed to be with somebody you love, and yet you're constantly looking at your phone, or you're doing something else, they don't feel you. They feel your distraction. And it's like, so when you're in work, focus in on work. And when you're in your personal and your loved ones, or even just being you, just be in that moment.
So I just want to pause you there because you said some really amazing nuggets. What I heard you say, the power of small incremental changes. Like sometimes when things happen, we want to make these big rapid changes so quickly, and they're not lasting, they're not sustaining for longevity. But just by making these small changes, they actually become long lasting over time. And then actually you can be able to make even more changes as you go and master these little ones. You also mentioned something that I really liked about boundaries, setting healthy boundaries with your time. Like it's interesting because I would say when we give our time away, like be stingy with our time. When we're and the biggest present that you can give people is being present. How often do we see out in the world where maybe we're out at dinner with family and we may see people in tables around us, or we go to the doctor's office and everybody's on their phone. There's no presence, there's no connection. That can take away from the blessings that are happening right around us. Wow, so good.
Well, it is, because when you are not looking at your phone, right, and you're experiencing life and you're experiencing the world, it's like that's where some of the best conversations come in, and that you can make an impact. It's like making eye contact, having a smile for someone. I mean, it's no wonder everybody's heads down all the time, because we're looking at something else. It's like, let's start looking at each other. Like, I am such a big one about technology. Like, it's brought us so many amazing things, and it's also brought us some real downfalls. Like the wanting everything just like this, right? Like, I find myself doing it. If my internet's not working right, I'm like, what the heck? Like, what is going on? But like 20 years ago, like, we probably had dial up, right? Remember DSL or something like that. And everything was like, you heard the phone ringing and it was so slow, but that was all we knew. Now that we know how fast we can have things in our life, it's like this immediate gratification. Everybody wants instant. And if it's not coming instantly, it really creates a lot of issues for a lot of people.
Like impatience. And so I love that you even brought up technology because my background is actually in IT. And I think,
Mhm.
remember, we talked about that before. And so I studied human computer interactions, how we interact with the computer. And I would see that, oh my gosh, every technology that comes out, there's all these apparent advantages and there's all these hidden disadvantages that are taking us away from the human connection. And it's so interesting because even now, over the last couple of years, when we've been in the pandemic, we've been relying on our technology even more, and we're in our screens even more. And we can lose sight and disconnect from those that we love around us, or even lose sight of ourselves. It was interesting because I implemented yesterday this heart circle, right? So I was like, I basically said, okay, honey, we're gonna sit down with my husband. I said, we're gonna have a heart circle, and basically it's just a check-in with no technology, no distractions. It's so easy to grab the phone, put it away, and it's just so beautiful how fruitful a conversation, technology free, can be with just people connecting, just checking in. A lot of times we assume people are okay, but we never really know because there's a filter through the phone or through the screen. And
Well, yeah, I mean, I think about, like, I am so old school, right? So every time that my noisy coworker, you can probably hear in the background,
okay.
I go ahead and pick up the phone. I pick up the phone and have a conversation. Like, I don't use FaceTime. Like, I forget about some of this, all this other technology. I remember when texting first came out, people would text me and I'd pick up the phone and be like, hey, what do you want? Like, I was like refusing to text, because I was like, to me, it seemed so impersonal. And I really learned through like Zoom technology, because like, you and I would not be able to be having this conversation if it wasn't for technology. But we're totally present and we're in the moment. We're interacting with each other because like one of us doesn't have our camera turned off, right? And just talking. Because as soon as you do that, then it's like almost like being in a seminar and sitting with your back toward the speaker. So
Right.
many people have gone to like, okay, well, I don't need to be on screen. You really do. Like you really, people want to see the eye contact. They want to feel your energy. Like that is so critical these days.
And so it's beautiful that you mentioned it's like harmony, creating technology harmony, right? Because there's a blessing in it. You're right, we wouldn't be having this conversation because we're on two different places in the planet, right? Um, but why not even be able to reach as many people if we were just face to face or without technology? So there's a blessing, just paying attention to the blessing and being cognizant of potential burdens. So, wow, this is just awesome. So I hope that our audience actually know they got some amazing tips already on how to stop waiting and start living. What other tips do you have that you can be able to share with us on how we can be able to move forward in this living space?
Well, one of my life hacks that I often talk about is that done is better than perfect. Perfectionism is the killer, I think, of all dreams, right? I mean, it's like waiting until everything is so perfect before you put yourself out there. Like, listen, nobody is looking for perfection. It's only within us. Just keep moving forward and taking action and putting yourself out there is huge, right? Because there's so many opportunities for us to say yes to life. Like, I really truly believe like there is an art of saying no, and that's like a whole course in itself. Because as entrepreneurs, and often sometimes even as women, we are asked for so much, and we're always giving of ourselves and thinking of everybody else before we think of ourselves. And so when you say yes to, let's just say a have to, you're saying no to another priority in your life. And when I look at a lot of opportunities that come my way, if it's like yes to being spontaneous, yes to experiencing life, I guess kids now are doing these yes days where parents have to say yes, like I guess within reason to everything that they ask, right?
The movie started that. Some movie, I can't remember which one, but it started.
Yeah, I think so. I think I did see that movie. I'm like, wow, that would be kind of interesting, right?
Yeah.
However, it's like really we subconsciously say no to so many things before we even know what's going to be asked of us. Because like I always tell people, before the age of 2, the one word we heard all the time is no, 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 no. So some awesome opportunity comes your way and you're quick to say no before you even know what you're saying no to. So if you need 24 hours, ask for 24 hours. But I really want people to really consider what is being asked of them. Work is always going to be there. The have tos are always going to be there. Nothing is that earth shattering that in the moment you are not able to say, okay, I'm done with work. Yeah, let's go take a walk. Let's go play baseball in the backyard. Let's go on like that bike ride or whatever it is in that moment and just go and have fun with it.
Oh my gosh, that's so true. That's so good because a lot of times I think there's some people, I don't think, I know there's people out there who need to hear that in terms of perfectionism. So you mentioned two things: perfectionism, and I love to say that I'm perfectly imperfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. Perfect can be cultivated and created over time. You just got to get out there, and if we wait until everything is perfect, we could sometimes miss the window of making an impact that we're called to make. So perfectionism is poverty. It can be paralysis, and it can lead to procrastination. And then again, that is tearing up, it can tear up in our soul because we're not getting the stuff done that we should, or we don't feel accomplished, right? So that's part of it. And then the part that you mentioned about saying no and setting healthy boundaries. We can easily overwhelm ourselves. And you're right, because you mentioned this a lot of times, even as women, we can say yes and we can be there for everyone else. And then next thing you know, by the end of the day, we're depleted and there's no energy for us. And a lot of times we may feel guilty. So this is interesting because I talk about how self-care is not selfish. Self-care, for those of you who are listening, is not selfish. It's actually the best type of love that you can give all the people around you. Because when you pour your cup up and you stay full, you give from your overflow and you're never depleted. Yet it seems like our society had made us feel like we have it the opposite way around. Like that part that you mentioned earlier, you just been dropping some wise wisdom here, because I just remembered the part that you were saying about human beings, not human doings. We get so caught up in the do that we think eventually if we do all these things, we will eventually be able to have, and we will one day be able to be, maybe when we retire. And then we never at that age are able to really enjoy what we've created. So the secret that Julie was sharing with us is that it's about being. It's about coming from our being, who we are, letting that presence radiate through. And then it makes it easier to do the things that we're called for. And then it's so easier to have that peace on all sides, that calm, not the chaos, that ease and grace, not the suffering, the flow, the thriving, right? As compared to just surviving. Total different way of living. And I want that for everyone. I really do. I want everybody to know that what we're talking about, what Julie's sharing with us, is possible for everyone who's listening, not just some.
Right. And again, it's not huge change. It's like start deciding where you're going to start with. Like maybe you decide that you are not going to work Sundays, right? Because how many of us, I mean, I heard this great saying once about entrepreneurs, we're the only ones that have given up a 9 to 5 to work 24/7. And right. I mean, it's true sometimes. And so it's like you need to have that downtime, because it's in the downtime that your creativity is sparked. And in the doing nothing, sometimes like all these amazing ideas will come to you. If you've never give yourself though that downtime, it's never going to be possible. And when you're on all the time is when burnout is really truly going to happen. And then when you burn out, it's like then it's even worse, because then you're like no good to anyone at any point during that burnout time. It's like before you get to that point, and I had to learn this myself. Like I used to burn out and then I would be like calling up people. No, I'm not able to. I'm pulling out of this. I'm doing this. Now I realize, okay, like I'm really cognizant of what I'm saying yes to. And if it just doesn't align with me at that point, I maybe ask for 24 hours just to really consider it. But if I know it's an immediate no, I give the gracious and no is a complete sentence. Like, no, thank you. I'm honored you would ask. I'm not available at this point.
And see, I usually check in with myself, right? So as I was just about to ask you, and I'm so glad that you mentioned, did you ever experience and live these things? And that's what kind of taught you how to be and how to really be able to embody these tips that you're sharing. And it's beautiful, because the lessons that we learn and that we share are the ones that we've experienced and that we've heard, and we recognize what works. And it's interesting because it's so easy to be on that rat race of it's so natural. It's so ingrained in us based on, our parents working, our great parents working, and, seeing all of that go around us. But when we take the pressure off, when we're actually able to be, we can see that there's so much, create space for so much more enjoyment and freedom in life. And I feel you, and probably because I was that person where I was like, go, all of this. And then as I learned some of these things that you're talking about, it's like, oh, slow down. I took a little getaway to Hawaii a couple weeks ago. And it's funny, I was also there in September. Well, the message I got was in September was, okay, time to slow down more, right? And then I go back and it's like, oh yeah, you're still got to slow down some more. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like a turtle. And it's so fun because in the middle of the day, if I want to take a nap, I can go home and take a nap. If I'm burnt out towards the end of the day and I'm like, I need to reschedule this call, I can go ahead and do that. It's almost owning and honoring me first, and then allowing that to be able to honor everyone else around us. It's so beautiful.
Absolutely.
Now, do you have anything, what biggest takeaways or final nuggets do you want to share? And then do you have a free gift for our audience that we can be able to connect with you and get to know more about you?
Well, and I think you just really said it. I've walked the walk and I talk the talk, right? Like, I mean, I'm a work in progress. And so like anything that I'm learning myself is what I'm out there sharing, because it's a journey, life's a journey, not, a destination, right? So we're always growing, learning, changing. I never stop learning. Like that's the biggest thing that I also want to, tell people is you're either growing or dying. There is no such thing as stable or stagnant. It's like, so what can we do, or how can I support, you and just really growing, and whatever you dream, you can achieve. Like, when we were 5 years old, anything was possible. Then life happens and then we stop dreaming. It's like, go back to dreaming. And that's why I love, and I'm going to give your listeners today a free ebook, my book that I wrote, Stop Waiting, Start Living, because it's more than just a book. It's a handbook. So you read a chapter and then there's questions after each chapter that inspire you to take action. See, we can get all motivated. We can get excited and say, yeah, I'm going to do it. But then writing it and really being in the moment is going to help you to move forward with it. So the link people will go to is very easy, stopwaiting.startliving.com, and they'll be able to download the free whole entire ebook, not just a chapter. You'll be able to download the ebook.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here from Julie first. Make sure that you go to stopwaiting.startliving.com and grab your free copy of Julie's ebook and answer the questions. Take it all in. Because you know what? It is time and it's possible to reclaim your power, your energy, your purpose, your passion, your prosperity, and your peace. And your healing and transformation in your life is literally in your hands. And so she has some amazing tips to be able to support you in that. That part that you had said about the work in progress. It's something that I wanted to share with you that I heard, and that I really do believe that is true for both of us, is that we are the work in progress and the masterpiece at the same time, because there lies the beauty of entrepreneurship. What have you learned, audience? What have you learned? What have you experienced? What lessons have you gained? What story or testimony or something that you have that is actually maybe not necessarily as much for you and your learnings as much as it is for someone else that you're called to serve, and to be able to pay that information forward. And that's what we're doing here today. I want y'all to put in the chats too, the comments, like, what was your biggest nugget? What was your biggest takeaway? Let us know what you thought about this time, because there was so much wisdom that was shared. And we just want to hear from you on what really spoke to you the most. Julie, I'm so happy that you were here with us. Thank you so much for rocking it out and having this amazing time. And it was so fun, so freeing. And thank you for supporting us in this freedom.
It is all about fun, my friend. So let's go out and have a fun, fabulous Freedom Friday and a fantastic weekend. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
You're welcome. Thank you. Aloha, everyone. Have an amazing Freedom Friday with fun this weekend. Be present. You got this, and you're doing amazing. Keep it up. We'll see you next week again, or the next episode of Freedom Fridays. Peace, everyone.